Hello friends, you can log on to primeaptacademy.com to access complete free video courses. Okay, so we have 1 minus I upon 1 plus I whole raised to n equal to 1. Okay, so first we'll find the value of 1 minus I upon 1 plus I. So what we'll do is we'll multiply this by 1 minus I and also divide this by 1 minus I, this fraction. So this will become 1 minus I whole square upon 1 plus I times 1 minus I, that is a plus b times a minus b, that is 1 square minus I square. So 1 minus I whole square, this is 1 plus I square minus 2I divided by 1 square plus 1, because minus I square is minus 1. You can write it as 1 minus minus 1 because I square is minus 1. So this will be 1 plus 1, which is equal to 2. I square is minus 1. So instead of I square, we'll put minus 1. So this becomes 1 minus 1. So this goes away. So what we get is minus 2I upon 2. Minus 2I upon 2 is minus I. So 1 minus I upon 1 plus I equals to minus I. So instead of this, we'll just write minus I. So we get minus I raised to n equal to 1. Okay. So now this actually becomes minus 1 raised to n times I raised to n. Okay, minus I can be written as minus 1 times I. So minus 1 times I whole raised to n, this will be minus 1 raised to n times I raised to n, this equals to 1. So over here, minus 1 raised to n, this over here, if n is odd, in that case, this becomes minus 1. Okay, and I raised to n will be either I or minus I. Okay, so this will be minus 1 times I or minus 1 times minus I when n is odd. So this will be minus I or I. I am not gonna get 1 over here when n is odd. So that means n can never be odd. So n can never be odd. But when n is even, okay, in even case, minus 1 raised to n will be equal to 1. Okay, because minus 1 raised to an even number is 1. I raised to n, this can be equal to minus 1 or 1, okay, depending on whether n is equal to 2, is a multiple of 2, or is a multiple of 4 or not a multiple of 4. When it is a multiple of only 2 over here, then this is minus 1. When this is a multiple of 4, then this equals to 1. Because if you look at it, I raised to 2 is minus 1, I raised to 4 is 1, I raised to 6 is minus 1, I raised to 8 is 1. Okay. So when n is even, in that case, when n is equal to 2k, where k is odd, that means it's only a multiple of 2 and not a multiple of 4. In that case, it will become minus 1 raised to n, which is 1 times I raised to 2k, where k is odd. So this will be minus 1. 1 times minus 1 is minus 1. But we need the result to be 1. So this also goes away. In the other case, when n is 2k, but k is even. N is 2k and k is even. That means n is a multiple of 4. So over here, this will become 1 times I raised to power a multiple of 4. Okay. So I raised to power a multiple of 4 is 1. So 1 into 1 is 1. Okay. So what we conclude is n is equal to 2k and k is even. Okay. That is the answer here. Okay. So what we conclude is n is 2k where k is even. Okay. So this is the answer to the question. So n equals 2k where k is even is the answer. That is how we solve this question.